everyone, my name is Bukiie. I am a 2021 and 2022 bride, and this is my bridal experience with ATS. So for me, I really thoroughly enjoyed the whole wedding planning process. Like, I loved being called bridey, and everyone was like, hey bride. And it was just such an enjoyable process for me because I had, from the beginning, decided I wasn't going to stress at all. And I was very intentional about picking my battles and knowing which hills I was going to die on. And even the ones that I was going to die on, I was like, is it really that deep? Like, your wedding is definitely a once in a lifetime event that you should absolutely have the time of your life, and as much as possible have your dream wedding. But there were a lot of things that I was like, you know what, this is fine. There were a lot of things I felt I just didn't want to stress about it. And because I knew that for the most part, everything was going to fall into place, it helped me to be a lot more relaxed. Even the outfits that I didn't necessarily love or want, you know, I could have like screamed on someone's head and be like, this isn't what I want, I'm not paying for it, I'm not having it. But I was like, am I then going to stress about someone making my outfits in like 2 days or a week or something like that? No. And I had my first traditional wedding in December 2021.
Good morning, my love. Today is
and then I had my white wedding in Italy in June 2023.
We're getting married in 24 hours. 24 hours, okay. We're having fun, period. Are you having fun?
Those planning processes were very different. 2021, my child was really for my parents, you know. We're talking over 700-800 people being there. So I knew that I was just going to be a guest at the wedding, which is perfectly fine with me. Like, what I cared about was like my photographer, my videographer, my outfits, decor. That was pretty much it. Everything else my parents could sort out. And even when, like I mentioned, I didn't love some of my outfits, I looked good. And it made me happy that I looked good. So even though it wasn't perfect, it was good enough for me. And I went with it. And I think you guys will see, you know, the videos and the pictures of how I looked as well. So I really couldn't complain. But planning that was more my parents planning it, and my maid of honor, my best friend, who was also on ground here. She was my runner. She was the person who was going to my vendors for me when I wasn't here. She was the one calling them, where is this, where is that, what's going on? So having people in your corner like that who will carry your wedding on top of their head like it's their wedding is truly such a blessing. Sometimes people say it's easier to have your friends rather than your family do that, because your family, you know, they can get quite emotional about it. It's a lot, the wedding is for them, it's for their friends, it's for them to show you off. And so there's a certain kind of way that they might want to do things that you might not want to. So be patient. Give them grace, give yourself grace. Honestly, it's truly a time that you should enjoy. You shouldn't be stressed out. And planning my destination wedding was also really easy and great, thanks to my amazing wedding planner. I also started really early. I had about 12 months to plan my destination wedding and 6 months to plan my traditional wedding. And yeah, I think having the extra length of time for my white wedding was definitely a big help and a big blessing, and it made the process a lot easier and smoother for me. Like managing flying guests from Nigeria, America, Canada to Italy, and the UK to Italy wasn't as stressful as I thought it would be, because my wedding planner was amazing, because I was able to give control. So that's another thing that I need to tell brides. You need to be able to let go and let God and actually give up control and trust people. Trust that people, you know, the vendors and the planners and even people like me, like bridal managers who work with you, they have your best interest at heart. And for some people, it might just be another event or just another day. For me, it's obviously like a once in a lifetime opportunity, right? So it was important that I enjoyed it entirely, and that's something that I want people to be aware of and brides to be aware of. My girls, my bridesmaids, they came through for me. I think a lot of people always say you would have those friends that you're not quite sure about, that don't need to be on your train, but the girls that you love and you know will help you be the best version of yourself throughout, those are the girls you want to make your bridesmaids, and give them roles. I try to give some of my bridesmaids like guidance and direction here and there, but for the most part, I don't really know how to ask for help. So Shout out to my maid of honor, my chief bridesmaids, every one of my bridesmaids who was like actively checking on me and what they could do. That really helped a lot. My wedding vendors for trad definitely stressed me out a lot more than my white weddings. Even though I wasn't stressed overall, towards the end, I mean, I got my traditional looks on the week of the wedding. Yeah. But I was like, it's fine, it'll work out. They all knew when my wedding was, even though I had given them a wrong dates, but as always happens, it was last minute. My photographer, you know, could have been better. The pictures are fantastic though, but for me, it's always more than just the actual service. Like the communication was poor, you know, on the day, like just those kind of things. So that's something I wish a lot more people spoke about. Like you see really great events or really great pictures and things like that, and you just focus on the actual thing. No, find out what happened before, find out all the things that we went through to get to the final output. Ladi Milan, my videographer, was fantastic. I'll absolutely recommend him. Of course, I would always recommend my destination wedding planner, Claudia, because having a wedding in Italy with over 100 Nigerians is no joke, but she handled it like a champ, and I'm very grateful. And my family were the best. My friends as well, for the most part, did good in checking on me and making sure that I was just really enjoying the process. I mean, you're engaged, right? So you're a fiance. You're never going to be a fiance again, hopefully. So you want to enjoy the process. So definitely take your time, go out, get celebrated, being engaged, and take care of yourself. You know, enjoy the little things. Like when I went food tasting for the white wedding, just me and my husband, we took a little trip for like a couple of days to look at the venue, do food tasting, trying on my dresses, figuring out my outfit. Like I loved styling myself. I loved looking for the different fabrics, the styles, and how I wanted to look, how I wanted to feel. I loved thinking about my decor. All those things are so important, but the most important thing is you and your husband. So also make sure that you guys are aligned and that your vision is what actually happens. I'm very excited to launch ATS because I think that bridal manager is such an important job in just managing the bride. And so I'm very excited to work with future brides. So please do get in touch, and thank you so much for watching.